Hi, I'm Luke McIntosh, creator of BecomeABassist.com, and welcome to video 4 of Bass Chord Pro. Good on you for sticking around. This is where it really starts getting interesting and really fun. So in this video, you're going to learn how to find the major 7th of any chord, and then when we do that, we're going to learn how to construct a major 7th chord. You'll learn how to construct a type 1 and a type 2 chord, and we'll talk about that in just a little bit. And you'll also learn the best ways to voice them so we avoid all that muddiness that we're trying to get rid of and get that clarity that we're looking for. So let's get right down to it. So this video, we're going to be talking all about major 7th chords. Now, to construct a major 7th chord, all we're doing is we're taking a major chord like the ones we already know, the ones we've already been playing, and then we add a major 7th to it. That's all it is. That's all a major 7th chord is. It's just a regular chord with one extra note, the major 7th. And I'm going to teach you how to find the major 7th right now. So there are a few ways to find the major 7th of any chord, and I'm going to go through 2 of them right now. The first one is a little bit more time consuming, and the second one is way easier. So if we have our G major chord, and we're looking for the major 7th, what do? Well, we can use our G major scale, but if we count as we go, we just land on the 7th, and that's our major 7th. So because it's a major scale, it's going to be a major 7th. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, that's our major 7th. So we've got the 4th fret on our D string. It's an F sharp. That is our major 7th. Now the easier way to find the major 7th is to just take the root, or this one up here, and just go down 1 fret. So from the G, for the 5th fret on the D string to the 4th fret on the D string, still an F sharp. So F sharp is the major 7th that we're going to be using in this video. So we have to add this note, our major 7th, to the chord we already know, our G major. So we have this shape, and we just add the note in. So we're going to try and take our middle finger right here and put it on the F sharp right there. Nothing to it. But you'll notice that this is kind of a difficult shape to maintain, especially when you've got all 4 strings working at once. And it also sounds a little bit dense. There's a lot going on right there. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop out 1 note. So which note do we get rid of? Well, we can't get rid of the root because as bass players, it's the most important note that we play. We also probably shouldn't get rid of the B, the 3rd, because if we didn't have the 3rd, we wouldn't be able to tell if it was a major chord or a minor chord. The 3rd tells us that. So that leaves us with our 5th, our D, and our major 7th, our F sharp. Now we have to get rid of one of them. And since it wouldn't actually be a major 7th chord without the major 7th, the F sharp, we're going to keep that one and get rid of the 5th. So instead of, we're not going to play the 5th right here. A lot of times also the 5th is kind of an assumed note. There are some chords that have altered 5ths like flat 5ths or sharp 5s, but they're a lot less common than the ones we've been talking about so far. So the best way to play this one, keep our first finger, our index finger on the G, and then I use my ring finger and my pinky finger right here to play the F sharp and the B. And you'll notice we have a big jump right here between our G and our F sharp. And this means that we can move this whole shape around all over the bass, and it'll still sound good because of the wide spacing. This is what's called a type 1 major 7th chord. Now you're probably wondering what a type 1 major chord is versus a type 2 major chord, and let me explain that right now. Now a type 1 major 7th chord will always have its root on the E string. So in this case it's our G, our 3rd fret, it's the root. And you'll learn that when we do type 2s, the roots are always on the A string. But this type 1 chord will always span across 4 strings. You're not playing all of them, in this case you're not playing the A, but it always spans across 4 strings. And this gets really important when we start talking about putting all these chords together and doing a thing called voice leading. But we'll talk about that in the next video. Right now I want to show you how to create a type 2 major 7th chord. So every once in a while you're going to need to play a major 7th chord starting on an A string for voice leading reasons. And so how do we do that? Well, just say if we're taking the exact same chord, G major 7th, in our type 1 chord we have our G all the way down here. But if we have a type 2 chord, where's the next G on our A string? It's all the way up here. 10th fret on our A string. So that's where we build our type 2 major 7th chord from. Now we're going to use the exact same notes. So what were the notes down here? We had a G on the bottom, then we had an F sharp and a B. So if we're doing up here, we've got our G, we just need an F sharp and a B. So where's the nearest F sharp or B in relation to this G right here? Well, there is that F sharp right underneath that G, but we're not going to use that one because then we wouldn't be able to play our G. So we're going to go up to our 9th fret. There's our B right there. 9th fret on our D string, that's our B, that's our 3rd. Perfect. And so what about the F sharp? Where is the nearest F sharp in relation to this shape? Well, really, there's one right here on the 11th fret of our G string. So this is our type 2 major chord, major 7th chord. It's the exact same notes, they're just in a slightly different arrangement, and it spans only 3 strings. Notice only spanning 3 strings here. Now you could play this exact same shape down low, but you notice it's a lot more muddier and we're trying to avoid that completely. So if we're playing down low and the root's on the E string, like it is here, we play our type 1 chord. But if the root is on the A string, we play the type 2 chord. Exact same chord, just a slightly different arrangement. Now both these type 1 and type 2 chords are available in the PDF download right beneath this video, so go ahead and download that right now if you haven't done so already. So to review, we find our major 7th by taking the root and going down 1/2 step. And then we talked about our shape, the shape from the very first video, our major chord shape, dropping out the 5th and adding our major 7th. So this is our type 1 major 7th chord shape, and you can move this around all over the bass. And then we went up high, up to our G up here, and we did the same thing, exact same notes, just in a slightly different arrangement. Too easy, nothing to it. Over the next few videos, I'll reveal exactly why it's so important to know both the type 1 and the type 2 major 7th chords. And of course the type 1 and type 2 minor 7th chords and dominant 7th chords. But we'll get to those in the next couple of videos. In the very next video, I'm going to be talking all about the minor 7th chords, and you'll learn the best ways to voice them in both type 1 and type 2 situations. Once again, thanks for sticking with me. Thanks for keeping watching. I'm Luke McIntosh, creator of BecomeABassist.com, and I'll see you in the very next video.